everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Niche Girls podcast. I'm Kristen.
I'm Yolanda.
I'm Jessie.
And we are back. We took a little break for Thanksgiving, and then I actually was out the week before because life was just chaos, just like straight chaos. So we are back, all three of us today, and we have a really exciting topic to talk to you about. But before we do that, little housekeeping because it's the holiday season. So you're listening to this episode now, and then we'll have another one come out, I think the day after Christmas, we decided. And that episode is just going to be like a December roundup, all the stuff that went on, in Disney and Universal over the holidays. And then we're going to take a couple weeks off just for Christmas and New Year. So we'll probably be back with you guys in January. So if you're looking for us after the 26th, you will not find us. We will be on vacation with not really vacation because we'll be working and doing our lives, which are, is a thing in and of itself. But so we'll be back in January with new episodes. I think we are going to stick with the every other week schedule. That's been working out really well for us. So, that's what you can look forward to in the new year. So with that, how is everybody doing? How is life for
tiring?
Yeah.
Cold. It's
cold.
It is full, but Jessie and I'm never in long sleeves. I usually wear a cardigan, but
it's actually, in case you guys at home are wondering, it is 45 degrees out in Central Florida right now.
No, so I'm freezing my butt off.
Yeah, it's I enjoy this weather, but I do like to be bundled. So
no,
I don't like it
hide
this
in the
cold.
house in this weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do not
like going to the parks when it's cooler because it's such a rare occurrence for it to not be 85 degrees and 400% humidity. But this is a little too cold for me. I like low to mid 60s is perfect for.
I like low 70s.
Yeah, low 70s is good.
I agree with the 60s. I hate going to work when it's cold because I feel like I should be in the parks. I'm like, what a waste.
Yeah.
What a waste.
But so we are over here freezing, and I think it's supposed to warm up a little, but I don't think it's gonna get warm.
No, it's supposed to get warm this weekend and then drop again.
Oh yeah.
I don't love that. And the other issue too is maybe you guys are at home or laughing at us because you're like, oh, it's 45 degrees, it's not cold. But we don't own clothes for 40. We don't have I had to bring my kids to school this morning, and I'm like, do you they had 3 sweatshirts. They don't have clothes for 45 degrees because we live in Central Florida. So why would I own a winter coat? No.
I do, but it's just coats. So I don't have a lot of this.
Yeah.
Thermals and stuff, long sleeves.
So you just gotta layer, and the girls have blankets on. This is so.
Yeah.
I slept with 3 blankets last night.
I slept with 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was in a spirit jersey and sweatpants under the 3 blankets.
Yeah. I was
and socks. I never sleep in socks. I have socks on now.
I hate socks. Yeah.
I hate socks.
I know.
I can't do it.
I'm not happy. Well,
I'm not happy. She goes, I'm not happy. Just this is not why I moved here.
If I wanted to freeze, I would still be up north, and I wanted to be warm. So this has got to stop. So
not the vibe.
Listen up, universe, fix it. So on that note, and talking about fixing things, today's topic is we're going to talk about the recent changes to Epcot. You guys know they took the walls down a couple days ago.
Yes,
most of the walls. Most of the walls, and they unveiled what they've been working on for 4 years, I guess. It just feels like all eternity they've been doing. I have no idea.
Well, so I think since the pandemic. They've been up since I worked for our previous social media company.
Yeah.
Well, I started working for Disney as a photo pass at Epcot in 2018. They went up either at the end of 2018 or the beginning of 19 because as I was switching jobs, the walls were going up and we weren't able to go under the tunnels anymore because they were getting rid of the Starbucks.
Yeah.
So it was
I
think it was 19.
I was going to say I want to say 19 because I have a picture there, I think, in the fountains.
Okay, yeah, it's 19.
Let us know if we're wrong. That's our best estimation of But so
no matter what. no matter what, they've been up since 2020 because, as I said, when I had my previous job, we had to ride the monorail every day to try and get footage inside the walls. So that I was doing that job in 2020. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about what was promised, what was delivered. I went during the day to check everything out, and then Jessie was actually there at night, so she can talk about what it was like at night. I know what it was like during the day. Yeah. So.
Yes. So
you want to talk about what was promised a little bit?
I do want to talk about like what was promised. So first of all, if you look at the original photos, it's kind of hard to distinguish where the Communicore area, the Communicore hall is versus the rest of it. But if you look at the photos, it does look like a very lush area, and they did, as Disney likes to overpromise like a much more interactive area during the day. They did not allude to anything that would just make you think it was going to be only seating and chargers. There was still supposed to be a fountain, and if you look at the original concept art, which I can do our stories when we drop, but there was this cool looking, I don't know if it was supposed to be mirrors, but it looked like almost a statue of like a bunch of Epcot spaceship Earths, kind of like
I remember that
coming out, springing out of this thing. And it was really supposed to like lead the way into the showcase, but also those giant like light stamp holes that you were supposed to have, they looked like they would maybe still be doing more during the day. And it also looked a lot more like lush, and just like I said, like Disney promised a lot of interaction. They also had these tree structures that were supposed to connect both connections and creations kind of to this area and offer a bit more shade and like walk through. That area was pictured to be almost 2-story. And so it looked very vast, very like awe-inspiring is what I'll say from the pictures, from these like 2-story connection trees that we got that were supposed to lead the way. And from both their experiences and social media, I'm not sure it's what we've gotten. I haven't seen it yet. But I'll go ahead and let Kristen talk about the daytime. And then I'll talk about, so my test that I told them was that however we feel about it, I'm excited to hear what Kristen's kids think of it. Because to me, Disney is supposed to be made for the awe and the eye of a child, and it's supposed to put you back in that space. You know, Magic Kingdom does that. When you turn Main Street for the first time, even if you're not a kid, as an adult, you... And so, yes, does this space do that, Kristen? And how do you think your kids will want to spend time there?
Yeah, no, it's not. It doesn't do that. It doesn't.
No, not at all. Not even at night. Like
no, it doesn't. I don't think it's interesting for kids at all. I really don't, because I'm not lying when I tell you it is different types of seating. So you have like lounge chairs, you have like table and chairs, you have like high top tables in one area. You have like almost like a wrapped around the tree. It's almost like a counter with then like stools there. So you legit can bring your laptop and work.
It's like a work area. Like it's almost like it's outside of a Starbucks.
It's giving college campus. Now I'm a little bit old. I don't know if I can get away with saying what the youth is saying, but that is like.
Got that.
I mean, I'm sure like if you look out your Hilton window in a downtown area, you can find this.
Yeah.
That's really what it's like. It's not magical. It is just very like department store, Marriott hotel, like what you would find college campus, because there's like places you can work, and like that's what it's like. And it's pretty to look at. I do think, I forget, someone brought it up to me, like it's just all green. Oh, it was Haley from the Enchanted Esquire. We saw each other there. We were chatting.
I was watching her live that morning.
One of our good friends, and we were kind of looking at each other like the plants are all green. Like there's not even any color. Like I can kind of understand giving it like a lot of color to make it visually a little bit more stimulating, but it was legit like the plants that are in my front yard. Like there's like ficus bushes out. Like, what are you doing? Like, you couldn't even put some tropical little bird of paradise. Like, you can't,
I'm wondering if they're going to change out some of those plants, like for flowers, for maybe flower and garden, or maybe just seasonally. Maybe because it opened like in the winter. I don't know. But yeah, it was very just green and brown.
Yeah,
So I have a couple questions. My first question, because of the girly that I am, is are any of these seats metal?
yes.
Metal and
Okay.
concrete.
So concrete is fine, but if you wear shorts in the summertime, I know there's a lot of shade, but the sun moves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
metal seating was their choice?
Yeah.
The
some of it.
tree thing is also metal. The
Yeah,
big
if you notice
And
from
it doesn't connect to anything. So there is a tree structure.
I wouldn't even call it a tree. It's almost like if you guys are watching us, I'm doing this gesture with my hands. It's kind of like a funnel almost, like a reverse funnel sort of, and it is kind of like a tree, but it has like, it doesn't give you any shade. It's just lighting that's up there. It's kind of like all open, but it has this kind of cylindrical open mouth vibe to it. And I don't know what the purpose of it is besides lighting at night, because during the day it does nothing. It doesn't give you shade.
But even at night, it wasn't like colorful lights or anything. It was just normal lights.
I was also confused about it because of the like almost steampunk metal look. It looks like almost like a rusted metal, like maybe they were trying to imitate wood, but in the concept art it matches the white of like creations and connections. I'm unsure. And then another thing I saw from like the first day, obviously I just said that like the sun moves in Florida. So my thing that I had text Kristen and Jessie was like, okay, but why am I sitting there? Why would I want to not sit in the land where it's air conditioned? Why would I want to not go to Connections, which is right there, and take up why am I sitting there? Like I can't understand.
Yeah.
There's Starbucks and all that seating in Starbucks with all those charges. So, like, why am I there in the Florida heat? At nighttime, I can understand why I'm there, but it's still not interactive other than being... So, like, what I can't understand it.
Yeah.
And then, so I've worked for hotels since for like 9 years now. I've worked for hotels for a long time. So hotels every 10 years will do massive renovations because obviously, like, their rooms and everything will start to look dated and they can't charge as much. So every 10 years, a good hotel should be doing renovations. The only exception is if that hotel has crazy theming. So for instance, like you've never seen, the Animal Kingdom lobby updated. You've never seen Art of Animation up. Like most of these, they might change out furniture. They're never getting a retheme because that was the point of that. The point was that it's going to look so themed that it will never date itself. And right now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but between the garden and Connections and Creations, it's giving like it's giving HGTV. Yeah, Macy. Like, I don't know. It seems like Disney's a little lost, like with their theming.
Yeah. I don't know why you would sit there. I don't know. I mean, I got a coffee. I was there with. I met up with friends there, so we grabbed coffee, and then all of us were there for work, obviously, so we like pulled over to a table to do some of the stuff we do for work. So from that aspect, for like my job and Jessie's job and like our friends that are working for travel agencies or blogs or social media, whatever, it's perfect because like it gives us a shady spot to like pull over, grab a coffee, and do some of the things we have to do. But like if you're there with your family on a vacation, I don't know why you are just like
sitting
and again, it's not even like there's like places to eat. Like I can understand if they had like food trucks in the area or like kiosks, or maybe during the festivals they'll put some booths there. I don't know. I don't think so. There's really no room for it, but
I doubt it.
That's what I was hoping that maybe they would do, is put a new festival booth or something.
There's really no room for it.
It's a bunch of like pathways, like walkways.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kristen was saying, it was so funny. She was like, oh, this is going to be great to exit. There's going to be so much room. No, people still swarm to the same spot. And especially now that it's lit up at night, people are like, ooh, let me go take night photos. So now people are just like standing there and stopped. You have to like go around a bridge of people. Like, I highly doubt they're going to put any kind of like booth or festival, anything there, because it's just not, I mean, it's a big area, but it's sectioned off and it's pathways. It's walkways.
And then like what you have too, sorry Jessie for cutting you off, but I have to say it before I forget. Like up front is like like she's saying, all the pathways and the gardens, but then like where the Fountain of Nations used to be is just another planter, legit, a concrete planter with some more green plants. they have this kind of mosaic in the stonework that looks like Spaceship Earth, which is kind of cute, but
I like that.
there's a PhotoPass person standing right on it to take pictures of people in front of this planter with Spaceship Earth in the back. So you can't even get a clear shot of this like stonework mural because people are standing on it. And then, you know, you're standing there waiting for the photo and nobody like cares. So they're just walking over it like, no.
Yeah.
But it's just empty like space. Like that's all that's there. So
It's a lot of concrete.
I'm perplexed as to why we didn't either leave the Fountain of Nations or do something else, because this is why I'm thinking it's going to be great to exit, because it's just empty. It's just space. Like there's no
there's nothing.
Like we couldn't.
And did the Walt statue feel grand? Like did it feel like there was like a focus on it? To me, from what I can understand,
it's
from
small.
it looks hidden.
It
looks hidden.
It's the size of
because like in Magic Kingdom, you're kind of forced to see it because it's right at the front of Main Street.
You have to go find it.
Yeah.
I had to like look for the line.
Yeah, he's sitting down, not centered, by the way, which drove me absolutely insane. Like it's this kind of banquette seating that's overlooking this whole garden area, and he's legit like off to the side. And I'm like, you couldn't center him? Like what
off
in the
to the
name
side?
of OCD are you doing, putting him off to the side? What?
Why off to the side?
And he's like he's the same size, I believe. I don't know that it's exactly his measurements, but he's person size. So
close.
when you're sitting next to him, it's like you are the same size. So there's nothing grand about the area. There's just like 2 plaques on either side, like, you know, that says basically the space is open as of this day, and then that Epcot will always be in a state of becoming, or whatever he said. So
that is correct.
And that's that. And then there's nothing.
And I'm fine with Epcot changes. Like I don't want people to think that because it's my baby park that I'm a negative Nancy here, because I was fine with Guardians and I was fine with Remy, and I was not okay with Frozen. Okay, but I was okay with changes that have made sense. And to me, I really thought that, and I had seen it from like we would stand and watch the old fountain when it would go off. Like we would like, I really did think that it was such a cool entrance. And then you also had all those triangles that gave you shade in that area. Like, I don't know. I understand that it may have been a little 80s looking, but I'm not sure that any of this feels like of tomorrow.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like,
no.
With the technology and things that other theme parks are coming out with, this doesn't feel like of tomorrow. Like,
no,
that's I think where I'm like struggling.
And it doesn't feel it. I am honestly, and I'm not joking about this, perplexed that it took 4 years to plant some plants and to go to IKEA and grab some furniture. Like I honestly, like I don't understand. Like the statue was done because they debuted it at like a D23 event, you know, like they've
a while ago.
Yeah. So, like, it honestly, it seems like a lot of this happened within the last like recent, because when I like, as I said, when we did have that job a bit ago, like 2 years ago, we would take video every day and there was never a ton of progress. There was never
dirt.
I mean, sometimes you would see like, oh, like she said, like the banquette seating, like you could see like a little bit of something carved out, but there was never any like concrete progress, I would say, until the last like year.
Yeah.
It seems like they really knocked out Guardians, like, and then that area wasn't touched. Like the walls were up, but it wasn't touched. They were knocking out Guardians.
Yeah.
And then Guardians open, and then they were like, okay, now we can do this.
Moana,
so I'm not sure why the walls had to be up.
They spent time working on Moana. They walled
but
off
all
the
of it was
center,
blocked.
but they didn't do anything with it for 4. Like you could have just walled it off the past year. It didn't need to be down for this long. I don't get it. And I think they honestly, like, with all the blue sky art and everything they did, I think they bit off more than they could chew.
Which they do tend to do.
Money wise on it. This is just my own. I have no insider knowledge whatsoever. This is just me looking at the history of the Walt Disney Company. I think they came out with these grandiose plans, and like they always do, they announce it, and they do put that tiny little disclaimer on it, like, oh, you know, this is blue sky, this is what could be.
Concept art.
Yeah, concept art. But like, then, I mean, if you'll remember at that D23 several years ago, they spent a lot of time talking about that remember that mid-century modern looking
Building,
building that had like the
Mhm.
an annual
columns.
pass holder.
Yes, and then it had like 2 tiers and it had a garden on top. It was circular. Like they came up with a poster for that, like a retro Epcot looking poster.
I
They
remember.
they made a
Yeah.
huge deal out of that thing. They announced that and
Yep.
Moana at the same time because this was like the big
Yeah.
thing. They canceled that. Like
Which
they realized that it was either going to be ugly or too expensive. No, they probably don't care that it's ugly. Too expensive.
expensive, yeah.
And then they were
And
like,
like
no. So I
looking
think
at
they started to do this stuff and then they were like, oh crap, this is actually going to cost us money. Okay, never mind. Just throw some plants in there. Like,
yeah.
I
And we can
know.
like the Moana area, like I do want to touch on that at the end, but so I think because it's very confusing to me. So because Hong Kong just got Arendelle, and while the ride is so short, like Mine Train's short, the area is insanely themed,
Yep.
gorgeous, stellar, okay? And then Tokyo Disneyland next year, which I'm gonna miss by like 2 months, I don't want to talk about it, is getting their Fantasy Springs area, which will feature Rapunzel and Peter Pan, and I'm sure that it's gonna be over the top. And so I don't understand why. I know that there's other investments in those parks, but Hong Kong, like, why are they getting this amazingly detailed, beautiful Arendelle area? And we, first of all, if we want to talk about Frozen, just got a ride layover and a new show. But like, why do our new areas not look like that? Like, I don't understand why they can't look as
Money.
magical. But we're paying like the same to get in, if not more.
We're paying
So
more.
Tokyo Disney is not technically owned by Disney. They're owned, I
Okay.
believe, still by the Oriental Land Company. That might have changed, but I don't know that it has. If
I
you
think
know
you're
more
right.
about
I
that,
wanna say
tell
you're
me.
right.
But they're
I think
owned
you're
by a
right.
company that is like spare no expense. They have money for days. They don't care how much it costs. They basically get the technology from Disney and then they're like, okay, well we can spend $1 billion more on this and make it cooler.
Making it pretty,
So
yeah.
that's what they do. We pay out of the butt to be there, and then they're like, we're poor, we don't have any money for you, I'm so sorry. Can't
It's
help
so
you.
true.
So I mean, I don't. It's money.
It's so
It's
true.
just money. And you'll remember too. Like, let's go back many years. They announced that big Main Street theater, right? It was supposed to be in that area that you go like
Yeah.
behind. They legit poured the concrete for it, and then they were like, you know what? Cancel that. And then the rumor is like, okay, they're going to allocate that money to monorails because we need the monorails are like
Yeah.
legitimately as old as me. I have been riding those monorails since I was a young child, and I am not young anymore. I am an old lady. And like,
Yeah.
it's the same monorail I have been riding all of this time, and they are busted, and you can see they are busted. So
Yeah.
They
they're
are.
supposed to, they don't do that either. So what
They
are you
are.
doing?
I feel like the last time we got like very close to what was promised was honestly with Avatar. That was
Yeah.
like the closest area we've gotten to what was promised. They promised you could ride on the back end of Ikron and you were going to feel it breathe, that you could see the floating mountains, and you can. You see all of that. It's very immersive. It's very interactive. Like exactly what was promised. It comes alive at night. So there was still, obviously the concept art was way crazier, but like what they said Pandora was going to be is mainly
we
what
It's
we
the
got.
closest that you're
It's the
right of
closest.
any
You
of
can
these new
see the whole
expansions.
Avatar in the tank, like very deep. The rivers of the light, the ride, you know, with the hopping frogs above you and the the lady doing her thing at the end.
The shaman.
Yeah, the shaman.
It's I think
It's
he's
the
a boy.
closest, and that was a lot of years ago, and we have not seen that since, because I love Guardians, but at the end of the day, the ride itself, it would be nothing without the screens. It would be a very fun coaster, but you need the screens.
Yeah, I mean, even Toy Story Land, again, what they promised was like this big, like, remember the entry was supposed to be this like Western village, and then
Oh yeah,
Slinky Dog was supposed to like go under the ground in this like trench thing, and it was supposed to
I
be.
remember. Yeah,
But again, they don't. There's like a formula when you're opening a new land in Disney, and it's like an e-ticket attraction, a like a ticket attract, like a just like a
Yes.
thing, alien
ticket.
swirling saucers or
Mhm.
Navi River Journey, like something that they've
Yeah.
half-assed for reason.
It's
Like
true.
again, they're like, we could make this cool, but budget, let's not make it cool. And then
They
there's
spent all the money on that one.
one quick service
You're
restaurant.
right, because it's the same with Galaxy's Edge. Like you have Rise of Resistance, and then you have the
And then
Millennium
you
Falcon,
have a
which
quick
is
service
good.
restaurant. That's the formula. That's what you
Yeah.
have. And then they're like,
I hate that.
think about it. That's Pandora. That's Toy Story Land. That's Galaxy's Edge. Like, that's the
No.
formula. And they do it all
I'm
the time. And then
embarrassed.
occasionally down the line, like we got Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, they're like, we'll put a new restaurant in for you. Or for Toy Story Land, they just flipped around Midway Mania or whatever it's called here.
They did. They did.
And like we're selling us our own, like selling it back to us. Like it was, no, this has been here. This has been
It's the
here
same
since
thing.
like the early
We're not-
2000s.
yeah, like we remember. It's very confusing. Okay, but now we'll go to at night and the new fireworks show. How did you feel about it? Did you like it?
Oh, her face says it all, folks.
Did you like the fireworks show? Like, which one is the phase 2, or is it to both?
Okay, so the fireworks show is not it.
Okay,
So I loved
I've heard again
Harmonious.
very, very mixed. I've seen very half
Yeah.
and half.
Yeah. I haven't seen half and half. I guess I just don't have those kind of friends.
I have follow a lot of influencers.
So do I. I haven't seen anyone that's liked it.
Mhm.
Honestly, like I loved Harmonious. It was a vibe. It was a wiggle. I was dancing to the songs for Harmonious.
That's what I'm hearing. Just
Illuminations.
why did we lose Harmonious?
Right. Well, yes. And then with Illuminations, it's like you have beautiful fireworks, visuals. It's gorgeous. Okay,
That's
right?
perfect.
So everything
Illuminations
has
was
some
the
kind
goat.
of visual.
She was perfect.
She was.
Okay, Epcot Forever. I'm just skipping over because
No.
I didn't like that show anyway.
We don't need to go. The soundtrack was great.
That was
We'll
a filler.
cut it
and
It was filler.
Whatever.
Soundtrack was stellar. That's it.
This fireworks show was depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Every single sad song that you can pick out of a Disney movie was the soundtrack.
Yeah. I live
Oh,
streamed
no.
it while she was there, and we
Oh,
were texting each
no.
other like, "This is this is awful."
And
That
they
makes
took-
sense because I saw so many people crying. Like, and I thought maybe that was good crying.
It was every single sad song in every single Disney movie. Like they even sang the Jessie song when he loved
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this song is depressing.
Yeah, I know.
This is the song where Jessie
Harmonious,
doesn't have a
yeah,
family.
Harmonious and Illuminations, they both bring you up and then bring you back down and then bring you
No.
back up.
No,
You know?
this was all down.
Yeah,
No, the first
There's no
couple
protection.
minutes.
It's just those like half arch things, right?
Okay, so the people were so upset when Harmonious had barges. Well, guess what? There's more barges back.
They're
They're
No,
not
they're
as
not
bad, though.
circular.
they're like
Yeah,
half
because
arch.
they just
That's
took
what I meant.
they
Like,
just
they're
took
like-
the arms off of the Harmonious barges and made them flat.
yeah.
They did do that. That is what they did.
Literally, the water goes like this. It's all wiggly. It's exactly the same arms from Harmonious,
I am sad.
and
I
there's
was
no projections. And the songs
I
are
don't-
dead.
Which honestly,
I
I'm fine
think-
with no projections. Illuminations didn't really
Like-
have projections. It had the
It
globe.
had the globe.
It had the globe though.
It had a focal point. It
It
had,
had
a
a
focal
visual.
Yeah, but
This
if
didn't
you-
have a visual.
You
The
couldn't.
arms were literally just like this the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. You
That's it.
For me, it's a long show to not have like visuals.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, the fireworks were fine, but like most of the fireworks, they're not like there's a couple of the big boom ones, of course, but most of them are just little ploops, bloop,
Yeah.
bloop, bloop. Like it was I personally, unless I have to go back for work, I will not be going back to watch that. But that's
It's
just
just
me.
that-
I didn't dance, I didn't wiggle, and I'm a wiggler. Like I wiggle for
Yeah.
everything. I dance in the car.
Yeah.
This song, I literally stood there and I was like, wow, these songs are really sad.
Yeah.
And again, is it going to hold a kid's attention?
No. Oh my God.
Because,
No,
like-
they're all slow. They're all
So
slow
I had, like
songs.
kids surrounding me when I went to when I was yeeted into Happily Ever After the other day.
No.
I say yeeted in because I must really voice how I feel about magic often, because my friends that were with me were like, "I'm so sorry, we know you hate magic," and I was like, "It's okay."
Oh,
But I was surrounded. I felt bad. I was like, I must be known for this. But the kids around me, every time the characters would change they'd be like, Moana, Frozen, and it was really cute because they like kept doing that, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, cute. So what I
I
mean
will
to say
say-
is that it kept their attention.
yeah, I will
versus-
say they are more original Disney songs because, again,
Okay.
it's like Jessie's song
Yeah.
from Toy Story 2.
which is so concerning. I don't want to hear that.
No,
I hated that
fast-forward
song.
through that part of the movie because emotionally,
too.
I cannot
It's sad.
handle it.
I don't want to be
too.
sad. Like,
And that's like the one song that like literally sticks in my head. Could I name you any other songs that they played? I don't know,
I'm sure
probably.
they hit you with
But
Tarzan, You'll Be in My Heart at one point if they did
yes,
that. So
that was in there.
see, I
But
knew it. I
it wasn't
knew.
in there for very long. Like the Jessie song, I kid you not, was the entire song. The whole song.
There's no reason for
There's no
that
reason
type
for
of.
that.
No.
I don't
And
know.
meanwhile, like fireworks are going off, and I'm like,
It's
what?
not a firework worthy song. No.
You know.
No.
Yeah, I live
Okay,
streamed
I'm
it, and Jesse
intrigued.
and I were texting each other the whole time. I was not a fan of Harmonious. I didn't like the barges. I think they relied too heavily on projection. I didn't like the way you had to be either
I didn't
front
like
and
that part
center
either.
or America to get a decent view of it.
I get that.
But I would take
That was my
that
problem with
back
it.
in a second before I
Just strictly for the
get
music,
on
if
board with
anything.
this. Yeah.
Like the Harmonious soundtrack, like I said, I can listen to that in the car. Like it was fun, it was a bop. I will say the only thing I liked about this music is they did the same thing as with Harmonious, where they did it half in English and half in whatever language the movie
Which
was from.
cute.
So I did like how they did that. I like that they added the language aspect.
But then how
I
did they
couldn't
do the
understand
Jesse
it.
song? Because what country? English?
They didn't do it for all of them. It was only a couple of songs.
Yes. Either be
It
consistent or
wasn't
don't do
every
it at
single
all.
one like Harmonious.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
it's hard. I think maybe Disney mistook our anger for Illuminations for we don't want Harmonious, but they were definitely trying to solve the barge problem. But
Yeah.
People did complain about the barges. I know that. Nobody
they were bad during the day. Again, we got promised fountains pretty. That's not what
Yeah.
we got.
These barges are still bad during the day. It still blocks your view. Maybe
They're
if you're
still black.
tall, it doesn't. Blocks
There's
my
still
view.
black barges. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
They don't
You know,
take them in and out all day.
I feel
that's
like
concerning.
Illuminations was popular for like over 25 years. Like that show brought in the crowds. People left like, wow, that was so great. It was original, right? Like it didn't have
Which
this
it was a
intellectual property that you're slathering on everything now. Like it's
Yeah.
beyond me why when they decided that they needed to, again, this is just this whole theme of Epcot. They're like, okay, we need to update it. We need to bring it up to date. We need to renovate. Like they just throw the baby out with the bathwater. They're like, okay, destroy the
Mhm.
globe, totally new show. Like if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just I understand you wanted to
improve
update
it.
the fireworks a little bit. Throw some IP onto the Illumination soundtrack. Do something.
Yeah.
Like you could have update that globe so it was more of a
And-
projection and less of like the little
Yeah,
LED
but that was
lights.
one thing about the globe that was awesome. It did not have to stay out there. They brought it out in the middle of the day.
But there's a way you
It's
could have
not
updated that
happening.
show and then made it more like the direction they want to take Epcot, which
Yes.
is the IP and all of that stuff. There's a way that they could have done that. I mean, Disney, theoretically, right, is like the best in the
Yeah.
business with that sort of stuff. So, like, you're telling me you had to literally scrap all of that and start from zero because you've done it now twice with Harmonious and this one. And, like,
Yeah.
both of them are not, like, there's aspects of both of them that, well, especially this latest one, that, like, are not, like, they're not it. They don't have
Yeah.
that Disney magic.
Cool.
Again,
On your
Harmonious does
heartstrings,
more
yeah.
than whatever this is. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing now with the center of Epcot. You had to bulldoze the Fountain of Nations. You had to completely throw the baby out with the bathwater, scrap all of that.
Yeah.
For what?
Give
Some
us a garden.
planters? There, you could have taken what was there and just made it better. You didn't
Yeah.
have to
Mhm.
bulldoze the whole thing.
They also sang the sad Coco song when the grandma dies.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. In the beginning.
Was
Good.
there I have a redeeming question and this will decide it for me. Was
Okay.
there sky lasers?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some.
Yeah. Some. Not that many, but some.
Or an
Yeah.
Illuminations amount?
No.
No, I don't
Not
want it.
Illuminations amount.
No fire. None of
I don't want it. If they're not like
Like, no.
No, there was
No,
no
just a
grid
little.
of lasers.
listen, when
No,
I
no,
was
no.
little, I thought those lasers were the coolest thing. Okay, I was
Especially
like,
when it was all
look at-
smoky and they like
when it was all
through.
smoky and you could really see. Okay,
No,
and
it
I'd be
wasn't
like,
like
"You guys
that.
see this? Are we seeing this?"
It wasn't like that.
I
They did
remember
have
the
some
sky
lasers, but-
lasers so much. Okay, and then last thing, Jessie, the garden was pretty at night. It was very pretty. It was
Garden was pretty at night. So when I first walked in, it was like sunset. So it was like almost night. And I was watching it, and the floor does illuminate
It
to
does
the
look
ball.
beautiful.
Yeah, the floor
Yeah.
illuminates the ball. It goes off the same music. So like that was kind of cool to see the floor moving with the ball moving.
That is really cool. Yeah.
That was cool. But where Walt's statue is, there's just little like lights in the ground. It's no like fiber optic fun like it used to be in Epcot, which I loved. Whenever I saw it was like pixie dust.
Oh, that
And
was
I was like,
awesome.
this is so cool.
And I
Now it's
think
just
it would have
like
been so cool to bring more of that back. I understand that
They
doing the
didn't.
whole light up floor is their nod to it, but I think even having like the
It's not at
mosaic
all the
Kristen was
same.
talking
It's
about
not the same.
feature fiber optics, and like imagine if that Spaceship Earth mosaic had fiber optics.
No,
That'd be
there
so
was
cool.
no fiber optic. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there was
It's
no
beautiful.
fiber optics.
Yeah.
Beautiful photo.
Yeah, I mean, the floor was pretty, but
Yeah.
it was just they put light beams in the floor.
Think about
Yeah.
what it would have taken to make us happy. Like legit some fiber optics in the ground. Like legit
Well,
a little swirl.
if
It
they
would have made a lot of
why
people happy.
did they not put the fiber optics on the Spaceship Earth mosaic? That's what I wanted.
I don't know, man.
Why
It's
didn't they-
easy. Disney. We can help you. Like
Why
we
didn't
have
they
the
do that?
ideas because whoever
I have
you're
cheap
paying to
solution.
do it, they're not delivering. They're not delivering.
No, and I'll go over that in like the December recap
Yeah.
too, but I feel the same. I feel the same way about the 2024 merch line. And from like the polls I've seen on people's stories, I'm not hearing people that love the 2024 merch line.
It's
like
so
15%
bright.
of people. It's not cute.
It's so bright, and I'm not
bright.
I'm not a
cute.
dated, I'm not a dated clothing person. I don't wear
Yeah.
clothes with dates unless it's like a specific like spirit jersey for like a specific party. That's the
Yeah,
only
was
thing I
gonna
ever
say,
get a
have
date
few
on.
shirts with dates.
But the 2024 line is like 2024 in neon.
The ears are
I
bad.
mean, the ears
Oh,
are cute,
I like
but
the
that's
ears.
about it. Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
like
I know
them.
Kristen
They're
likes
mine.
the ears.
Yeah, Jessie got them. I
No,
like
I
them.
don't like. It looks like a kid's birthday party.
It does. It's so bright.
See, I kind of
It's
like
not
some of
good.
the 2024 things because it is different than a lot of what we get. Like it's very bright. I
They're
do
big.
like those. Like they're kind of again like they're over the top kitschy, and I like that when Disney does that stuff. Like I want
That's
it to
true.
look extravagant. That's what I want. I don't want
looks
it to
cute
It's
on
look
your head,
extravagant,
actually.
let me tell
It's
you.
reminding me of the headband of Zoom Zooms that you see in Hong Kong.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I
Those are
kind
way
of like
cuter
it.
though.
I want those so bad. I kind of like it on your head a little bit.
Yeah,
They're really
I
heavy.
kind of like it. I like there's a t-shirt that I like from the 2024 line. I like when it's over the top because I don't want it it
Yeah.
to look like I went into a Macy's and I purchased some ears. Like I want it to be
Valid.
like Disney in your face.
Disney.
But again, like
It's cute.
I feel like their Halloween line I didn't really love this year.
I didn't.
Some of the Christmas stuff, I'm not a Christmas person, so I wouldn't buy Christmas stuff anyway. Besides, again, the
I am.
ears.
Some of it's okay.
But like, I didn't love a lot of the Christmas stuff this year. I don't know. I just feel like their collections lately, like you were
I like
saying,
our Christmas better.
I love our Christmas better, which you can buy right now.
Yeah.
And now these t-shirts. But yeah, I just feel like everything has been with Disney. Yeah, there you go. Figment in his sweater.
Hey, I have the
I
other one,
still
too.
want to. I might play with it on Saturday, but I know that Jessie has the Hello There sweater, so I want to look into listing Figgy as a sweater. For anyone listening, we'll see if I've done it next week.
Yeah.
But
I love my
yes,
Hello There sweater. I wear it all the time.
yes, but maybe we are a little bit harsh, but our thoughts are just confusion on
We're
the
just confused.
Marriottification of Disney, which there's actually articles about that. Not that I didn't write them either. But yeah, if you look it up about like the hotel renovation and stuff that's been happening, the Marriottification of Disney over the years, and yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but Jessie and Kristen definitely had thoughts when they were texting me.
Yeah.
They really Jessie's fiance literally was like, I'll prefer the wall. I'll take the
I'll
wall.
take the wall.
He literally was. He was like, the walls at least had art on them.
He's not wrong.
They did.
He's not wrong.
They did have art on them.
Yeah, so we were walking, so like where Figment is, it still has like the walls to go to that side. We were walking past the 100th wall and then the Figment wall, and he was like, see, at least these walls are cute. At least they have art on them. Over there is kind of boring.
I am interested to see what.
I think I'd rather
I mean-
take the walls.
To Jake's point, why couldn't we get a mural or more paintings in the like? Imagine like the space by wall if it was like the seating was like painted with like a fireworks mural or something, or old Epcot details in the like. What if they made a nod to Yellow Umbrella somewhere in the area it used to be? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the way people would freak out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Couldn't
I
be
am
done.
interested to see what that like Communicore hall looks like. I think it was pointless that they knocked down the building just to rebuild the building.
Yeah, if it looks anything like Character Spot, I'm gonna be mad.
Also, Character Spot had fantastic AC in the back. I don't want to speak.
Yeah.
See, I'm
I
like
used to go in that hallway
not
all
so
the
secret
time.
lover of old school Epcot carpet walls. So, I mean, if you gave me some carpet walls, I'd probably be happy. I'd be like, carpet walls.
They
Yeah.
were a vibe, and
They're not going to do
honestly,
that, but that would be
I
lovely.
think carpet walls would be such a move because it's like kind of how shiplap was just in and is now going out with like housing. Like carpet walls were the shiplap of the 80s. So like what if 10 years from now Carpet Walls is back and Epcot's ahead of their time?
Just saying, I wouldn't be mad at a carpet wall.
I'm just saying with Kristen, they want up tomorrow, bring me.
I will stop my complaining. I will shut up if you just carpet walls. That's all I want.
Exactly. I promise you. I mean, you guys have heard us be positive about other things before, so I don't think we're being that harsh.
I do feel like I'm overly negative to the point where like a lady I was waiting with Andrea Disney for Foodies in line, and we were talking about how this took 4 years, and the lady was like trying to like pump me up. She was like, it's not that bad, like, you know, this is kind of what Walt wanted, and you have to think of that, because I guess I was just like, I didn't realize it, but I was probably being like,
Epcot's a prototype of tomorrow. How is the
negative? But what Epcot is not what Walt envisioned either. So it's like,
No.
how can you like?
Y'all should have seen if she thinks you were being negative. You should have seen me when they took away the graveyard up front. When they took away all those plaques with the family names.
I didn't like.
Dude, I lost it. I like actually cried about it. It was pathetic.
I didn't like those.
Like I like full on cried the first time I walked in and they were gone. And I remember cursing up a storm to David. I was like, "What is this? What the is this?" I was pissed. I was furious. So if anyone that lady just hasn't seen me.
I was like, damn, I'm probably being like really, really negative for a random woman behind me in line to be like, ma'am, it's not that bad.
Enjoy my day. Let the fireworks later bring me down. Don't need to do it.
Yeah, little did she know it only got worse from there.
Yeah.
It's sadder. I can't. Yeah. But yes, our Christmas designs will still be on sale. Shipping has been going relatively speedy.
Yeah, I'm actually, if you we got the pre-order stuff in. So if you did a pre-order for either Figment or this one, it's going to go out today because everything is in. And then I will update the listings and make them like not pre-order anymore.
Not pre-order, yeah.
That's actually on my list of things to do next, everyone. So.
Yes. I mean, we can post too, like about Figment, but like I said, we'll also have like those 3 are now t-shirts. It's not going to be the corner tee as of right now, but all of them within the next, by the time you're listening to this, will be posted as t-shirts as well. And then we might have Figgy as a sweater, but honestly, like it's pretty warm here during the holidays. And
well,
that's
usually not right now.
We tend to list more t-shirts. Yes, usually we tend to list more t-shirts, but that is why, because we expect that you would wear it to the park.
And just so you guys know too, listing t-shirts takes, I don't know, what is it, like 2 hours at least per t-shirt? It takes like many hours to do it. So that's why they're very slow to come, because we all have other jobs and families and kids in life. So to take like a 2.5, 3 hour chunk out of your day to list one t-shirt, it's a
lot.
Big ask.
Yeah, and if I do get that sweater out by the time you're listening to it, I can't imagine it will be many colors. So I hope you enjoy what I'm able to list. Because I'm not gonna list. As many colors
it's a lot of work.
But I do think being able to wear a sweater with him that says sweater weather would be cute, and that is why I want to try to do it. So I'm wearing shorts.
We'll get to it.
Just realize
corner tee. So
yes, but I'm gonna work on it, Jessie. Okay,
figure it out.
Well.
But
that's our show for you guys. Like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll do our little December roundup. So if you have any thoughts on anything that happened over the holidays, definitely message us, drop it in the comments. We want to know what you have to say. Don't forget, when you shop online, if you use the discount code podcast10, you get a 10% discount on everything. And we're still running the free sticker promotion. So you will get 10% off. You get a free sticker. Totally awesome deal there.
That's a good deal for the holidays.
Yep. So thank you guys so much for listening. And if you agree with us, don't agree with us, let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.